conversation. I'll never forget this conversation. We were sitting there. It was on New Year's about, 2, 3? It was some years ago now. It's been some years now. I remember we were sitting there, and I looked over and I said, baby, what you want me to do different this year that I hadn't done all these other years we've been together? And she smiled, and she didn't want to. I said, I'm serious. Now just tell me. At the time, I had begun to initially lose my hair, and so I did like most guys do. I just shaved it all off. I had my beard. I felt like that was the look. She said, I sure would like it if you bruised your hair back. I said, really? And I had been bald for a couple of years at this point. She said, yeah, I know you don't like it. She said, but the size and everything, it make you look more distinguished to me. So that went back to the his need, her need thing.
Uh-huh.
I didn't care one way or the other because the woman I had said she wanted some hair. So I grew it back. Now, it didn't bother me at all because, you still doing the same thing you always do. But what was funny to me was the look on her face when I started growing it back. Then started going to the barber shop, getting it faded up, even the little bit that was there. And I laugh about it because everybody doesn't like that look. Some women like the bald head look, but mine didn't. So I didn't have a problem going back to where I am now. And I laugh about it because I think that that's the simple stuff in our relationship that we don't conversate. We don't talk about it. Yeah, we can compromise. We can talk about it. I think, matter of fact, you could even start to be a part of the process. My sister-in-law, she a huge, she wear all kind of weaves and wigs, and she just a hair connoisseur, you name it. Well, the husband she had at the time, I think he liked all those weaves and things like that. And so then you have other guys who, I like the natural look. They say they want a natural look on the white man. Some white men, I don't know about the natural look. That's a hard look to keep. How about we meet somewhere in the middle? But whatever it is that you do, let's say that on their list of their top 5, that appearance is in their top 2 or 3. That's an important thing for you to think about. Don't seem like much, but it is. It really is.
Moving on to financial support. Number 7. And there are some examples here that they gave us. The provision of financial resources to the home. Food and clothing for the family at a standard of living acceptable to you. But avoiding travel and working hours that are unacceptable to you. So we're not talking about the work or work situations. We're talking about strictly the man or the wife providing for the home. How important is that to you? We can get into a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, and don't think in terms of how much finances you bring into the house, because there is a division of labor in every household. For example, sometimes the decision is made, and I know that in education, I talk to a lot of the teachers, and they make the decision that one of the spouses has decided that they would no longer work. They stopped their teaching position because when they started to have a family and they had children, they said that it was costing them more for the child care. So it really didn't make sense for them to go to work every day. So they made a family decision that while the children were being reared, that whoever had the other income was going to forego that income and be there and raise the children. Now, they made that decision together. I think that's a great decision to make. But on the flip side, we had another couple that we were talking with where the spouse said that they were going to stay home and raise the children, which was good initially, but then the other spouse was saying that they needed some more financial support. And they wanted them to come back and go to work after the children were old enough to go to school. And after some back and forth, that became friction in their relationship because that individual didn't want to return back. They found that they had a greater desire to be a mother, a stay-at-home mom, than to go back and get into the workforce, and they had to go pick up the children every day after work. So they had to work through a balance. I said, well, that's how we started it. And maybe you all did not have an extended conversation to say when you would return. I think their assumption was, well, this is just the way it's going to be. And I know that happens in a lot of households. It starts off one way, but because we didn't have an extended conversation, one person felt like, well, it's time for you to go back to work now. I need some financial support. Another person said, no, I feel like I'm here where I need to be, helping raise the children, helping keep the house. And so those are conversations that need to be held. All right? And it's amazing how a loving couple with seemingly such a small thing can become a huge barrier, because every day they come home, they don't actually see whatever it is they're fussing about. What they're really seeing is the fact that, you still here and I need you to do something else. We don't need to continue the arrangement we initially started with. But instead of them dealing with that, they talk about other stuff. They start getting into all of these external situations that have nothing to do with the root issue. And so what we try to do is in our conversations, we start to talk to them, and they'll start off nitpicking one another. He said this, she says that. But he does this, he does that. And then we get to talking, and then we touch the Lord. I remember sitting there, I said something about children, and they just got quiet, both of them. I said, so you all didn't talk about whether or not you was going to have children? Because he was a little older. She didn't want to have any more children. He wanted to have children. That's a conversation that should have had taken place a long time ago. But my thing was, okay, well, that's the real problem then. All that other stuff don't really mean anything. See how y'all clamped up and got quiet when we started talking about children? I said, Lord, trying to show you need to deal with this issue. Now, whether you didn't deal with it or not is not the answer that we're looking at. We're looking for what you're going to do now. What you're going to do now. So we're going to 8. All right. They're ready.
Okay. Number 8, because Miss Monica went to get some more copies, but I got them written down so I can flow with you. Number 8 is domestic support. So this is how much help you feel like you need around the house. It could be with, cleaning the house or the kids or picking up the kids or, just whatever, or helping you grocery shop, whatever. So how would you rank that need from your spouse? And then move right into letter B. So we're going to give you 2 minutes on that as well.
Sometimes one spouse may be a little bit better in certain areas where that is concerned, domestic support.
You know what? I found out that you don't really have to provide a lot of physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic support can sometimes be this. When they are cooking, instead of you being in there watching the game,
Mm-hmm.
you can just stand up in there and talk to them while they're cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Hand them a pot. Give them a spoon.
Uh-huh.
Pull some sugar down if they need it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really cooking. You're just in there while they're cooking. And I'm going to tell you, they are so happy. They'll be sitting there just cooking, just smiling. And you'll be like, woo, this sweet potato pie. You put your big toe in this pie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you what that does is it just draws you closer together.
Just the presence.
Yeah. You might be
You know?
working on your car. And she don't know what's what.
Just come out there.
She's out there.
Just come out there.
Just come out there
That's
while
it.
you're on the car.
Pull up a
Give me
chair.
that long thing with look like a U on the end. Talking about this? Yeah, give me that.
right there.
And you working on your car and you all talking while they're out there.
That's
And you
it.
know what's shocking about this is one of the authors of one of the books that we read said that she learned this from her daughter. She saw her father dote on her daughter because she would come outside with daddy, and whatever daddy was doing, she was right there. She'd be there talking to daddy.
Mm.
And she said she started coming out the house talking to daddy.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And she said he started doting on me too.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't, when we start talking about that, sometimes you just need to be in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Participate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, participate. So we ready to go to 9?
Number 9 is family commitment. How committed is your spouse to the family and the functions of the family? What are your needs and where is your spouse currently? And explanations at the bottom. But you were talking about one of the spouses being stronger in one or the other area.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's key because you do have to kind of know how to balance it all.
Mhm.
You know, one spouse is going to be stronger because God has given them natural talent
Sure.
in a certain area.
Sure.
So you let them do it, but you support them in that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah, because we working with the kids. You know, TJ and Justin played every sport. Any ball you name, they played.
Mm-hmm.
My sons. Now, she didn't do anything athletic, but she showed up to practices and games.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I worked with them, if their mama wasn't there, they was looking,
Mm-hmm.
trying to see where she was.
Mm-hmm.
And so the support she provided was just being at the games and clapping her hands and calling their name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with me, I'm out there sweating, throwing pitches, running, whatever it is I got to do.
Mhm.
So everybody got a role to play.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a role to play.
We on number, what is that, number 9?
We're on number 9.
Number
We're about to
9.
go to number 10.
Got to go to number 10 then, okay.
Okay. Rolling around to the very last one, and that's number 10 is admiration. How important is it? Respecting, valuing, and appreciating. So, you know the drill now, we're on number 10. A is need for admiration. B is your evaluation of where your spouse is. And then, of course, you can write explanations at the bottom.
For those of you who are working a little quicker, if you want to flip to the back of page of 10, It gives you a ranking. It's got 10 emotional needs that we just went over. It just wants you to give your top 5. And you need to rank them from the highest to the lowest, which would be your number 5. Your top 5. We're not gonna have you do all 10. So that doesn't mean that you don't need those things.
Right.
They just not at your top list. That's not your priority. Kind of like ice cream. You know, some people, you know, they good with the ice cream. They don't have to have the cherry and the little sprinkles and whipped cream.
Like my husband did.
Yeah, I got to have it all.
And some of that hot food.
Yeah.
Do that hot food to the serve.
Just as messy as you can. She don't like any of that.
Just the ice cream.
Just the ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't put nothing in the ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Got your top 5.
Huh?
Yeah, I probably can rank them without going through the process.
All right. Okay. You ready for the back page?
You ready for the back page?
Yeah, we ready.
So we'll give you, most of you have probably already flipped over to the back page and ranked 1 through 5. What we're going to do is give you, how much more time?
2 minutes.
We're going to give them 2 more minutes?
Yeah. Unless they don't need 2 minutes.
I think maybe a minute.
Say what?
I
A
think a
minute?
minute.
Okay, we're going to go a minute, and then we're going to, this is what we're doing. You probably figured it out, that the 10 emotional needs that we just did individually and broke them down for you, they're listed on that last sheet. So 5 of those, that doesn't mean that those aren't important to you, they're just not in your top 5. So whatever 5 you choose, you want to rank them, 1 through 5. And then what will happen is we will put, the water's going to come on back, because you know y'all going to go across on dry land. Ain't going to be no mud or nothing. We're going to put y'all back together, and you're going to look at one another's paper and have a little quiet time. Now, y'all need to go outside and walk around.
I'm scared.
Find a corner over here. We're going to play some melodious music while y'all work it out. Yeah, that top 5. Hey, let me tell you why that top 5 is so important. You know that top 5, it will change over time.
No, absolutely.
It changes based on where you are in life.
Absolutely.
It's fluid. It's so fluid. And so what happens is where you are right now. So periodically, just like we don't want to wait until the car puts you down to take it to the shop and look up under the hood, because that's a terrible time. It's too late then, isn't it? When you're on the side of the road, it's too late. So periodically, you just need to go up under the hood.
That's it.
Go up under the hood and see what's going on. Check the oil. That might be a little low. Put some water in there, because you don't want nothing to run hot. All right.
Got to kick the tires.
Got to kick the tire. Check the air pressure. You want to be at optimal levels. Hey, when you get ready to take a trip somewhere, isn't that what you do? You check everything out. So every now and then, you got to check it out. Okay, is everybody ready for the big reveal? Y'all ready? Okay, let's go. Cross it up.